All right, so I'm currently in the living room, and yes, I am talking really low, but that's just because I choose not to go to my room since I'm watching John Wick 4 again. All right, really good movie. It's not the best one, obviously the first one is, but, that really is my favorite one so far. Of all the John Wicks, I really do like that John Wick the most. But yeah, so we're here to talk about the Alpha Foxtrot Romulus. As you guys can see, it is currently disassembled, and we're going to be doing a 1,000 round review of this thing. I just recently hit it, and I'm very proud to say that this thing right here just loves to run. And if that's all you're looking at when it comes to this, then trust me, you're not missing out on much when it comes to this price point. I would have to say that this 2011 is absolutely superb for the price. And I think, I think we all think the Prodigy was a good idea. But, this time we skip out on the Prodigy, all right? And we use the Alpha Foxtrot. And then next time, if you want to run the Springfield Prodigy, that unreliable piece of crap, then you can go full Bulgarian. But until then, get yourself a Romulus, because this thing, for the price, absolutely phenomenal. All right, this thing ran 100% of the time, so I am very proud to say that, and it shot very accurately. And I also want to mention too that over time, the trigger actually got a little bit lighter. I wouldn't say it's too noticeable, but if you're pulling that trigger, you'll start to notice that the break point is a lot lighter. It feels significant if you just focus on it. But when you first get it, it's a little stiff. It's a duty trigger, and then it gets lower. And that's just how I perceived it to be. It really does feel lighter than what it originally was. So that's something I am happy to report. As this thing breaks in, at least for me, the trigger did get a little bit lighter. So yeah, we do have the bull barrel right here, and the reason why I have it taken apart right now is because I want to talk about the wear patterns. Is there anything significant, anything to note? You be the judge of that. For me, I don't think there's really anything significant going on. We do have traditional 1911 wear, but here's the crazy part. So typically on a 1911, this portion right here, at least from the 1911 that I owned, would wear down. That was just one part that would continuously wear out. So the DLC coating is holding up very well. The only thing that is wearing on the bull barrel is, this portion right here. And then if I move that down, there's some wear right around this area right here. Other than that, the bull barrel is wearing out. Isn't wearing out really. So, and just to prove that, look right here, it still has its original finish, no issue whatsoever, and it is superb, I think. So yeah, looking at it right now, just still inspecting it, I'm amazed at how much this DLC coating is holding up. Now, another place that is traditional to get more wear, it does have traditional 1911 characteristics, and as you can see right here, there's a couple places, especially inside where the slide meets the frame. You'll see that the wear pattern is there. There is some wear there, but it's traditional. It's nothing to worry about. We do have some wear right around these areas too, but nothing to note. Nothing that is too significant to note. The one thing that does have me a little concerned is right here. We have that. Now, I have seen in certain 1911s that this area does get wear too, and as well as this area right here, which surprisingly enough, this area right here, no wear whatsoever. Right there, you know, this is another spot where the slide meets the frame, but it's only that one little chip, so not really much of a concern. I guess that was something that, you know, I just noticed, and I was like, why is it just that one dot, right? You know, normally it's a scratch, you know, it looks like a scratch, but this one, it looks like it was just chipped. So I don't know how that got there, but overall this thing is worn out very well. You see that little scrape right there, but nothing else. You know, we got this area right here where the grooves meet the barrel. You know, that's another traditional spot the 1911 or 2011 wears out. But overall, this thing still has its original DLC coating. It doesn't have that much going on in terms of wear. It still looks brand spanking new. Or if it doesn't look brand spanking new, it looks very, very new. Like it's only had a couple hundred rounds through it. So we're going to also talk about this right here. It's the Atlas Gunworks toolless guide rod, which actually gives you the option to use that toothpick, paper clip if you need it, or if this thing malfunctions, doesn't work properly anymore. Then you can go ahead and use a paper clip to go ahead and take this guide rod off. But initially what you do is you just press the bottom right here, and what that is going to do is lift this portion up. There's a spring in there, and that spring is compressed, and this little notch will hold this piece right here. And that is just so that way you can disassemble it, you can field strip this thing, clean it, and lube it up, and then after that you can go ahead and put this thing back together, and you'll be perfectly fine to run this thing. So I will have to say that, you know, out of the 150 rounds that I shot with this thing on, hasn't choked, but we'll really start to see stuff whenever we get to the 500s to 750 mark, you know, whether this thing actually holds up pretty well. But no malfunction, so I am perfectly fine with this guide rod so far. I'll continue to shoot it, you know, and let you guys know what goes on. So let's go ahead and talk about the frame itself. As you can see, very little wear whatsoever. You see that little scratch right there? I don't even think that's a scratch. I think that's just paper towel. You guys still see it? Yeah, that was just paper towel. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, I see scratches, like little minute scratches here and there. Nothing to be concerned about. It's still got a little bit of carbon. Let me get a cotton. I'm gonna Q-tip and just get that carbon off. But yeah, I just finished, you know, cleaning it. You know, it's a general clean, nothing, no white glove, you know, it's not going to be showroom pretty or anything like that, but I did get it clean enough to where it will function. So yeah, on the other side, you know, little scratch marks here and there on the little corners, but overall the wear is not significant on the frame itself. And as you can see, I do have the stock grip on here. As far as I know, this thing works really well. I don't have any issues with this grip, although I would like to change it eventually, but I think this grip works perfectly fine. It's not too grippy on the sides, but you do have this checkering that's very aggressive, so when you clamp down on it, it bites you. And it's not really meant for, you know, meaty, calloused hands. You know, it's meant for the people that have softer hands, and you can clearly tell when you grip this thing because, you know, it does dig into your skin, but it doesn't pinch you, it doesn't bite you, it doesn't do anything of that sort. So that's nice. I really do like the grip, but I will be changing that out soon, and I might take the magwell off when I start carrying. When it comes to this portion right here, this I believe this piece right here, the slide stop, has the most wear, and the most wear is on right here, this little portion that holds the slide to the frame. As you can see right here, we do have a little bit right here, but overall, You know, this thing is, it it holds up. It holds up very well. The coating is very nice. It also got a little bit of scratching right there, but overall, this thing is fantastic. So I feel like I'd be selling you a false bit of goods if I didn't get into the bad stuff about this. And it's very minute for the price point. I'm talking out of my ass at this point when it comes to, you know, what I don't like. You know, I'm giving myself a reason to hate it because I need to ensure you guys, I need you guys to be aware that this thing is not perfect by any means. So if you guys want a perfect gun, know that this is not it. There are little minute details that you guys need to know about, and it's specifically on the frame itself. So when it comes to this portion right here, no matter how much I tighten it, every single time it loosens up, and so I just don't like the fact that this thing continuously comes off. So I'm gonna get blue Loctite and clamp that down, and I'm done. You know, I'm not gonna put a red dot on this thing. Don't plan on doing that, so that's why I'm gonna be doing it. But another thing too, regarding the frame, so as you guys know, it has night sights in the back and in the front, at least for the model that I have. I do know that they have blacked out sights, at least from SHOT Show. You know, I saw some blacked out sights, and the sights were also raised a little bit so that way you can co-witness. But for this model in particular, the first generation Romulus, they came out with the fiber optic rear and front sights, so that way you have night sights. And this one right here, as you can see, one of them sticks out a little. This one right here. But when you get to this one on the right side, closest to me, it tucks in. And the reason why that tucks in is poor fitting. It does not fit that hole too well. Something I notice is it will pop out. You know, it popped out once, and that was when I reached the 500 round mark, and this thing was running really well, but you know, I noticed that minute thing, so I just pushed it right back in. Haven't had a problem with it since. So you know, that's pretty cool, that, you know, it was a simple fix, but that's something to get, you know, something for you to acknowledge is this thing isn't built entirely, you know, to perfection. Although for a cheap price, you know, you're getting a nice pistol. There are little nuances that you might need to understand what you're getting into. And another thing why I switched to this, so the two-piece guide rod that it comes with, I'm not a fan. I lost the Allen wrench that I used to have for the two-piece, and when I lost it, I was like, dude, this is ridiculous. I have to take it apart with these two pieces, then put it back together continuously, you know, and it was just a pain in the butt getting that thing done. But with this, I managed to get the Atlas guide rod fitting in there, and it works perfectly fine. So with that being said, I'm a fan of the Atlas Gun Works guide rod. And like I said, it gives you that option. If you don't want to use this contraption right here, you can just use the paper clip, and it will act as such, you know. So that was the other thing that I really didn't like. The one thing that I don't like about this is, and this is for the 4¼ inch Prodigy. So if you guys are wondering if the 4¼ inch, where I got it from Atlas Gun Works on their website, and I bought it. It's for the 4¼ inch Prodigy, but it will fit on the 4¼ inch Romulus. The one thing that I have noticed is, you know, it slightly protrudes. So if you like a super flush fit, just know that if you put your finger behind it, you're gonna see that the guide rod protrudes maybe like the smallest millimeter ever possible to be recorded, but it's there. You know, you can see it, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. It really is that bad. But it isn't so much that, you know, it looks funky. It looks like, you know, the guide rod belongs there. It just doesn't fit flush entirely. So if you are nitpicky about small, very minute things, you're going to notice little nuances here and there, especially with this guide rod, or just little nuances about the Romulus itself. But just know that you paid $1,500 for this. An extra $100 got you this. And then after that, you know, this thing runs reliably, it runs accurately, and throughout the 1,000 rounds, I've enjoyed every single bit of it. It kind of makes me want to check out those more expensive ones, but, you know, I'm very satisfied with the $1,500 that I spent on this thing. So, with that being said, enjoy yourselves. I'm gonna go ahead and put this thing back together. Oh, I did end up getting some Checkmate mags. This one's from Kimber. This is for their 2K11, but you know, they do fit on the Romulus. Let me just, boom, there you go. It does fit on the Romulus, and I did shoot them. They run really well, reliably. So I will be doing maintenance on the magazines, because I've heard that Checkmate mags need routine maintenance to make sure that, you know, they run properly. They feed properly, at least. And, you know, I'll be taking a look at that. But the Kimber 2K11 ones were $10 off of, you know, the standardized Checkmate mags, which is like $54. It was like $54 for a magazine. So I was like, you know what, I'll get 2 of those. And then I got some Checkmate mags as well. But yeah, with that being said, I enjoy this piece, and if you are considering getting a Prodigy, get yourself the Alpha Foxtrot Romulus. I'm not selling you a false bit of goods, because this thing, at least for me and many of the reviewers of this firearm and this platform in general, made by Alpha Foxtrot, have had positive experiences with the Romulus. So if you're skeptical about getting a 2011, but you're on a budget, get yourself a Romulus, and enjoy yourselves. Have a great day, guys.